Don't mind if I do. While we get,
I'm rebuilding this wrecked car
Oh,
with the help
oh, you're rebuilding this car. That's so cool for you, YouTube ad. That's so cool. God forbid I do my sound check and make sure that my computer is picking up the right microphone, even though I told it what microphone to pick up. Sometimes it just doesn't. But yeah, go on and telling me about useless shit.
I'm rebuilding this wrecked car with the
Oh, you're rebuilding the... All right, we're back. Yeah, all right. While I get this stuff set up, get all these things together, I had a weird experience today. So, like, some backstory. In the winter, right, there's a snowplow guy that goes through our neighborhood, and he's, like, jacked, like, fucking ripped. He has a ton of hair, which mine's slowly going away, and that's fine. And he's, like, really nice, great teeth, like, amazing jawline, six-pack abs on his biceps. He's pretty great. And he spends, like, an awful lot of time with Grace, but, like, that's fine. That's cool. It's whatever, like, because he's, like, such a cool guy. Jay, it's too late to join. We have indeed started, but you can fight people with buy rounds if you want, and I'll cast replays. Up to you. But I think most people in round 2 right now. Anyway, so it's like May, and there hasn't been snow on the ground for a long time. And I came home, and he was in my house. And I'm like, hey, that's weird. And he was like, hey, I was just plowing your wife. And I was like, oh, well, that's not great. I hope she's okay. Your truck is rather large. And he said, yeah, yeah. And then he looked at me weird, and then he left. And then, like, Grace came out looking all, like, strange, like, kind of shameful. And then she said, we need to talk. And I'm like, not now, babe. I gotta go stream video games. So, weird day. Like, just a weird day. But I'm sure it's fine, right? Nothing to read into there. Just ask him out already. I mean, sure, he banged your wife, but, like, ask him out. What did I just fucking do? What up, Coops? Gala, it's been a while. Caradoc, it has been a long while. How are you, dude? How are you? We do have our new player tournament this week. Last week, if you were missing it, it was cast on Tactical Lich's channel on YouTube. I will be trying to switch off with him and Tequila Sunset and other content creators, as I don't have as much time to do content anymore. Do live streams, and when I do content, I want to do more stuff than just literally new player tournaments every single week, and that's the only content I do. I want to do some streams where I play the game for once. I want to do some try-hard tournaments. I want to do some of our more fun events. So do need to share the love of the new player tournaments so I can do other things every once in a while. But if you haven't seen one before, it is 4 Swiss rounds. There's spoilers on the bracket, so I won't go over there. But there's 4 Swiss rounds, and then any ties will be broken. I don't believe I've updated this yet, so this is all zeros. So after the 4 Swiss rounds, let's say Bongo has 4-0 and Yashkov has 4-0. They're tied. I'll have them fight best of 1 to determine who is the winner of the whole tournament, so we resolve any ties in the end. For tonight, there was literally a patch today, so I didn't have time to go through the patch and figure out if the stuff is still broken. So for tonight, the same army limits apply. Thunderbarge, Carmine Dragon, and Tsarina Chariot are banned. The Tsarina Chariot is fixed, and I'm pretty sure it's fine, but like I said, I haven't had time to go test it, and it feels weird to change tournaments rules, like literally as it's starting. Carmine Dragon received some nerfs, but I haven't had time to go look and see how the nerfs affected things. Empire Army being able to take only 1 steam tank or a land ship, not both, is probably going to stand. Neither of them got nerfs, and they're both still pretty impressive units. And not like Empire is struggling without them, so yeah, we'll see what's up. I've heard good things about the Fury changes. So yeah. We'll cast some games from the Swiss stage. If you are one of the players playing tonight, if you didn't notice my Discord message, it is the same as most of these new player tournaments. Because this is starting at 8 o'clock my time, and I work at 5 in the morning most mornings, I do want to go to bed. So to streamline this, Play all 4 of your rounds. Send me your favorite replay. Don't send me every replay. We will cast 1 replay from each person, guaranteed. After that, I'll cast any replays I find particularly interesting, and we will call it a night. If I get 5 games of Bretonia spamming Grail Knights with healing, guess what? Probably not going to cast all 5. But if I get a game of fucking Scarbrand taking on Nakari, I'll probably stay up and cast it. Sound good? Let's check it back in with the YouTube chat before we get going on our first replay. Didn't know this was a Destiny collab. Oh, this is too good for us now, yeah. Father Ramsey let me in there. Aren't you a Bone Ripper? Didn't you already Bone Ripper? I feel like you did. First game of the night comes from Yashkov. It's Yashkov versus Zero. Zero is world famous for trying to make the Changeling work, but he did message me recently and say he is retiring from trying to make the Changeling any good. Looks like he's moved on to Khorne. So we'll see. Khorne versus Kislev. Khorne has gotten several buffs. They just got a Chaos Fury buff with the patch that literally just came out. And the big patch a couple weeks ago, their whole front line got cost decreases, which is good. They're cheaper. Kislev took a few nerfs, but the couple times I played them, they're still a very, very good faction. Quite top tier. No issues for them. What do we have? For Yashkov, we have the Oath Brothers of Tor. Auror Warbear Riders, everyone's used to and loves by now. The Wolf Hearts, Akshan Ambushers with their bound net. Some Kislevite Warriors and Armored Kossars. Armored Kossars, great weapons mixed in here as well. Some Streltsy, some Things in the Woods. An Incarnate Elemental of Beasts for that slow Mortis engine and the leadership debuff against the Khornate forces. Winged Lancers. Ice Witch of Tempest with Gust of True Flight and Hailstorm. And then a Patriarch for a little bit of healing here and there. On the other side for Khorne, do have an Exalted Bloodthirster up in the sky, some Fleshhounds of Khorne behind that, and then a whole bunch of Chaos Warriors, some with dual weapons, some with halberds, some regular. It is just Chaos Warriors as far as the eye can see. And then some of the buffed Furies. The major buff to them is that they got 20 more leadership, which was always their problem, is that if they got touched at all, they would just instantly Demonic Instability Crumble and die. The Wolfheart's already used one of their nets on the Exalted Bloodthirster. It is fading away now, so he can move again, but he did take about a crisp third of his HP. And then comes the buffed Chaos Furies, diving onto the Streltsy. Chaos Furies of Khorne and Slaanesh never hurt for damage. They always had tons of damage. It was just that fragility that made them so bad. They were necessary. You'll see them in a lot of builds because you needed something. You needed some flying disruption from Khorne, but now that they're a little more sticky, you can see how much better they're doing against Streltsy, and they're not going to die for their sins. Yashkov trying to fire pistols backwards, deal with these guys. It looks like the Oath Brothers of Tor are going to jump in here as well. Probably pop down their lightning rather quickly. Just try and get rid of these guys. A Hailstorm is going to hit 2 stacked up Chaos Warriors, though their high armor values and their spell resistance will help them quite a lot. The Exalted Bloodthirster is diving in. Now, things are going surprisingly well for Khorne, considering that 4 of their melee infantry are still way back here getting harassed by cavalry and such. And that is generally not good, but it looks like Khorne is doing fine without them for now. The Exalted Bloodthirster is still getting shot every so often by these little pistols, which they did take a nerf on that last patch as well. Their pistol damage is down. Ice Leopard is out as the Streltsy tear her out away. The Chaos Furies get back in the sky. Fleshhounds have taken a lot of damage, but the Furies are fine. We have some Chaos Warriors chasing off the Wolfhearts so they can't fire for free anymore, and Wing Lancers did get a rear charge on the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. The Chaos Warriors, not fickle Skaven. They will not rout from one rear charge. They will hold for now, as the Fleshhounds and the Bloodthirster are trying to take out some Armored Kossars. Just trying to get some kills for Khorne right now, charge up that army passive. The Chaos Furies, they were buffed, but they're not invincible. Demonic Instability does still hit them around 1/3 HP. They will get taken out, as did the Fleshhounds, as did another Fleshhound. Things getting a little dicey here for Khorne. The front line continues to press in. Incarnate Elemental Beast still full HP. And the Kislevite front line holding. Also with reduced by our blood duration. They seem to be just fine. Exalt the Bloodthirster is still trying to shoot through some armored Kossars. There's not too much shooting to really stop him, so as long as he avoids the Elf Prosator, he'll be fine. I wouldn't hate for him to take a fight with the Patriarch right now. That Snow Leopard summon is going to fade away in about 10 seconds, and he could get serious damage on the Patriarch and reduce any future healing away from the side of Kislev. Incarnate is under attack by the Exalted Bloodthirster. Horn of Khorne is out, giving all these guys increased melee attack. This guy only has 36 melee defense, so he's not really that resistant to these kinds of things. Exalted Bloodthirster is just trying to get good work done. Pistol still shooting at him every so often. The Khorne infantry starting to falter. Kislevite front line held as long as it really needed to. The Wolfhearts were able to kite away, and the mobility of Kislev could run down anybody who routed or just cycle charge them. And that is, unfortunately for Khorne, Khorne is some of the strongest infantry in the game, especially after the buffs, but the main problem is this infantry is just not the meta right now. It's very hard to win a game off of infantry alone. Like, they can do some pressure, and they're good units to have on the battlefield. And there are ways to leverage a frontline advantage, but just raw infantry go win me the game is very rarely going to work. Exalted Bloodthirster trying to kill the Ice Witch of Tempest. This is a pretty typical play when you're significantly down on balance of power and battlefield presence. Just go for the Lord Snipe and hope. But he is not hitting her at all. And then he does get distracted by the Oath Bros of Tor, getting torn apart, and army losses is going to hit Khorne now. GG. Yashkov. Incarnate did fine. Both brothers did pretty well. Wing Lancers, Streltsy, and Things in the Woods also did very well, and the front line just held forever, as is Kislev's way. For Khorne, their front line got pretty middling values, all things considered. The Dogs and the Furies did okay as far as disruption goes. The Exalted Bloodthirster got very little done despite how long he was in the fight, with things that you'd think he'd be able to kill. Heavily armored, but low weapon strength armored Kossars, and still just didn't get that much done with them. Rip. I do have a stream tomorrow. I have a stream tomorrow versus Radiant Ash, so I did some practicing as Deathmaster Snitch to at least figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with this campaign. Hey, just wanted to say I love your content. Fun bits to watch. Thank you, the Beast. We try. We try. I do have another replay we could be casting, but there might be a game I can catch live, so I'm poking the players and seeing if they'll let me in. Because I saw a lobby, but it didn't have a spectator slot. So if they don't answer in like 2 minutes, then I'll just go cast the replay I just received. But it's also from Zero, so I don't just want to keep casting the replays from the same people. If I can avoid it. How do you feel with the recent update? Recent update's really cool. Really cool. Because it's not blowing my mind what's in there. Like, holy shit! 50 gold off Hawkland! Long rifles! That's insane! Pog! But it is cool they're throwing balance into these little hot fixes that they're releasing like every other week. That's nice, rather than just leaving a meta for 3 or 4 months, doing nothing to it, and then one big patch, and then leaving again for a couple months. It's fine. And I mean, the nerfs are in good directions. I don't think many of them will change too much of the meta. Like, Thunder Barge didn't get nerfed significantly. It got nerfed, but not significantly. But most of them are in the right direction, you know? Alright, we'll cast the 0 game. The people I was poking to let me spectate started without me because they're jerks. But the Chaos Fury changes from this are good. Frost Room changes are good. Trying to remember what else was in there. Zarina Chariot got fixed, which is good. Elspeth's Dragon Breath Attacks got nerfed, which is good. Thunder Barge got nerfed, not enough, but good. Gyro Bombers got buffed, which while I hate the unit type, I think the unit type is fundamentally unfun. It needed a buff, like they were useless, objectively. Even though I hate them as a unit, I can also acknowledge that they were weak. Alright, we have 0 versus Trogdor. Wood Elves and Khorne. Have you figured out how to counter if Ash runs away with Gelt's migration? I charge up my tier 5 army ability for Snitch, where I can just delete a faction off the face of the earth. Ash is the one on a timer, not me. I can Thanos snap for Empire. Have you time to test the new Frostbite? No. I got home from work, had dinner, and started this stream. That has been the duration of my day. Batman was nerfed. Eltharion? That's probably fine. He was a little strong. Not like oppressively OP, but a little strong. Anyway, stop prompting interesting conversation. We're here to cast video games. On the side of Trogdor, we have his beloved Wood Elves. We have a Blade Singer, triple Eternal Guard, and then 2 Glade Riders? No, a Great Stag Knight and a Glade Rider. Hawkeye's Jakira with another Waywatcher, Wild Hunters of Kurnos, a Glade Lord on a Dragon with Pravenoth Rayma, and then a Spellsinger of Life with nerfed Dwellers Below. I believe it's nerfed. On the other side for Khorne, Trogdor, still playing Khorne, but playing him a little different this time. We have some Chaos Warhounds in the Vanguard, 2 Chaos Knights of Khorne, a Skull Cannon that has a suspicious icon. Hold on, that's a Steam Tank. That's Steam Tank icon. That's not a Skull Cannon. That doesn't look like any Skull Cannon I've ever seen. That looks like a fucking Steam Tank. Anybody want to explain to me why it's a Steam Tank? Because that's not that. It's the new War Machine icon. I don't care. It's a Steam Tank. It's a photocopy of a Steam Tank, which is not the Skull Cannon. 3 Minotaurs of Khorne, 2 with great weapons, 1 without. 5 Marauders. Valkyria the Bloody with her spear. A Sleipnir. Bluebird faction finally been dragged down from the top dog. They're still up there. They're not the best, but they're like top 5. They nerfed Traderkin? Yeah, and Soul Stealer a little bit, yeah. Alright, Wood Elves gonna try and kite it out. We'll see how sneaky they can be with their dogs. Whether the dogs can find the Waywatchers. Nice spear. The Hawkeyes were trying to move. Trogdor did dodge in time. It was just when certain units are reloading, they can't move until they finish reloading. Doesn't look like he lost any models. Yeah, he literally has 60 out of 60, and he is just going to Earthblood them back up a little bit, get some HP back on those models, so not the worst thing that could have happened to the Wood Elves. Nerfed Buna, Traderkin, and Soul Stealer. Yeah, not bad changes. I'm still surprised they haven't nerfed healing at all, but in my conversations with one of the designers, they seem to not be entirely sure how to nerf healing without making it literally useless. And those Glade Riders are getting slammed. Because those Minos were already almost breaking after the Hawkeyes were shooting them, and still the Glade Riders took over half their HP. That was horrendously brutal. Chaos Knights and Minotaurs teaming up to fight Eternal Guard and Wild Hunters of Kurnos. Wild Hunters of Kurnos are going to want to continue to get out of here as the Hawkeyes and other Waywatchers continue to shoot at the Minotaurs. But this is exactly what the dogs were waiting for. The Waywatchers run out of places to hide, and the Dogs of Khorne are upon them. This could be an amazing value trade for a 450 gold unit to take out the Hawkeyes of Jakira and maybe another Waywatcher if they have the time. The Wood Elves are in deep trouble. One of the dogs, after finishing off the Glade Riders, is also going to peel back and try and deal with these guys. Blade Singers will get over here, and they will do a lot of damage to the Chaos Warhounds of Khorne if they're given the time. But still, great trade here for these guys. Wood Elf Cavalry is getting surrounded by the heavy armor of Khorne. These poor reindeer not quite up to the task of slowly grinding through multiple Chaos Knights, though one is routing as I say that. We still have another Minotaur and another Chaos Knight here to deal with them. Glade Lord is kiting away. She is just fine, but the Hawkeyes of Jakira are dead. Bladesingers, with a Prey of Anoth Rhema, did manage to kill off the Chaos Warhounds of Khorne before they get to the other Waywatcher, but now as these guys are beset by Marauders, Bladesingers are trying to ignore them and get to this other dog, but the dog is much faster than them and will find their way onto the Waywatchers and omnom their way, hopefully through those guys if you're a Khorne fan, before the Bladesingers catch them. Oh, but a mistake here from Zero. He's going after the Hawkeyes. He's not going after the healthy Waywatcher, and now his dog's time in the sun has been unfortunately wasted, as they will get immediately routed off by the Glade Lord. Good Spear Sleipnir to kind of resuscitate that situation a little bit, but yeah, definitely a whoopsie attacking the Hawkeyes, who were already just completely boned, and letting these Waywatchers continue to survive. Skull Cannon's out of ammo. Forgot he was in this game, to be honest. Eternal Guard are holding okay on the front line. I mean, considering they're fighting Marauders and Minos, it's pretty brutal stuff, but they're doing what they can. Great Stag Knight's still technically alive, and the Chaos Knights of Khorne have traded surprisingly badly versus the Wood Elf Cav. They had Minotaur support, and they traded about 50-50 on HP, but now the Glade Lord is surrounded. This is not your Helm of Discord Glade Lord. This is the Prey of Anoth Rhema one, meaning slightly reduced melee stats, and no get-out-of-jail-free card with that minus 24 melee attack and defense aura. Waywatcher's still trying to peel away from the Marauders. One Chaos Warhound of Khorne is back, but I think if the Glade Lord goes down here, that's probably GG. Where's the Lifecaster for the Wood Elves? Oh, she's in there. I just missed her flag. She's bit-bopping around, poking at some big old Khorne boys. And what the hell is that? That's the Dwellers Below. Alright, Dwellers Below onto Chaos Knights and the Minos and the Marauders of Khorne to try and desperately win this situation. But that is not even the Dwellers Below from last patch. That is back to the old Dwellers Below. And while it's still pretty solid, it's not going to instantly delete Cav or Minos anymore. That's looking like GG. Having a rough one tonight, Hummus Trogdar? Are you still playing Wood Elves? Because that would do it. Wood Elves are super tough right now to make work, as they just keep falling behind the bell curve of Total War. I appreciate CA buffing all the bad factions, but also, can someone please buff the Wood Elves? Hi, Mossy. You suffer for your art. I would say I feel you, because I'm still playing Scathed, even though they're a bad faction, but I'm not crazy. Wood Elves are a worse faction than Skaven. Yashkov is asking for my opinion on a game. I will check it out soon. But I might have a live game. I know you've heard it before, and I know you don't believe me. But also, we might have a live game. There's a guy whose name is Soupaloop, and I just want to watch him play. Is that so much to ask? He's named after soup. I just want to know what the deal is. That's all. Okay, I know that game is done. So it looks like most people are on round 3 out of 4, so we're halfway through the Swiss stage. And you might be like, that's crazy! The tournament started 30 minutes before the stream did. Pretty hard to kite Khorne for Wood Elves. Yeah, but like Wood Elves just in general are not having a good go of things. Most of their units aren't very cost effective. Who the hell is Corwin Ironheart? It's Corn Dog. I don't know if I've ever heard of this Corn Dog person. Boo. Alright, I'll give this message like 10 more seconds before I hit start on this replay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, I'm just going to cast this replay. Khorne, Ironheart, and Yashkov. Khorne still lives in 2010. That's going to be tough. Khorne, are you Khorne Ironheart? Because I have several questions for you if you are. Simple yes or no would be nice. Are the Wood Elves just missing units and cost reductions? They aren't missing units. They've just suffered from several nerfs and then power creep. So, like, everybody around their level or worse than them got buffs, and they haven't yet. And coming into Game 3, ranged units entirely got nerfed, which was kind of their whole shtick. So now they just have pretty bad cavalry, pretty bad infantry, pretty bad monsters, and decent archers, or even good archers. But just having one thing that is debatably decent or good does not make your whole roster good. They have nothing to support those archers right now. Where the Wood Elves in the past had, like, decent or good cavalry, depending on who you talk to. Still bad infantry, still bad monsters. But then their archers were so god-tier amazing, they could still kind of carry matchups. So it's just kind of gotten away from them, right? Like, they've just gotten outscaled. What questions? Yeah, that's you. All right. All right, dude. The questions I have for you is, 1, how did you get so handsome? 2, how did you stay so handsome? And 3, happy to have you. Hope you stick around. Or don't. Whatever. I'm not your mom. Do whatever you want to do. What if artillery doesn't help them? What else don't have artillery, KV? Anyway. Trogdor, that's true. But enough distractions. We have a game here. Between my two favorite people in the world, I've already kind of forgotten. I remember Yashkov sent it in, and it's Khorne, because we were just talking to him. Duh. Easy. Beastmen, Vampire Coast, huh? Zongors and Black Horde's Ravagers across the front line. We do have some Harpies, Chaos Warhounds, and Chaos Warhounds with Poison on the back field. Some Centaurs, Triple Minotaurs, all of them with shields, including the Butchers of Kalkengard, and Malagor Dark Omen with just Flock of Doom for his spells. I really like this with the Bestial Surge passive. You just keep casting it over and over again and giving your army a bunch of vigor back. On the other side for the Vampire Coast, we have a bunch of Handgunners, Animated Hulks, the Gallows Giant Necrophects Colossus ROR with his Flamethrower that does Burnt Leadership debuff against the Beastmen, pretty darn strong. Bombers, 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 double Carronade on a small map is not going to be very helpful for him, and then the Bloody Reaver Depth Guard is pretty good. So Yashkov asked me what the hell happened. I don't know if you're referring to a specific bug, but if you want my actual feedback on your build, I can stop being silly and offer it. The Vampire Coast in general is weak to one thing. They're weak to archers. They're weak to archers from every single faction. Every unit on their roster they have is weak to archers. Everything they have is weak to archers. You might be like, well, what about the Lamprey's Revenge and other crabs? They have heavy armor. They're also slow as shit, and archers do a little bit of damage to that armor regardless, and you can also ignore them until the very end. Bog them down in random cheap shit and shoot them with archers. You'll be fine. Other than that, Gallows Giant, weak to archers. Bombers, weak to archers. Bomber Bats, weak to archers. Handgun Mobs, weak to archers. Cannons, weak to archers. Noctilus, not weak to archers. So bring Spirit Leech. Animated Hulks, weak to archers. Depth Guard are unshielded, not that high of armor. They're weak to archers. Literally everything on this roster is weak to archers. You should bring 4 Ungor Raiders. That's why I noticed off your build, the rest of your build's fine. Zongor's moving in. Blackhorn's Ravager's going to fight against the Animated Hulks. If the Coast player wanted that advice too, don't take 2 Carronades. 1, they suck. They're still a bad unit. And 2, this map's really small, so you're not going to be able to get enough shots off to make them worth it. Otherwise, your build seems fine. Gallows Giant trying to hold his own. That Burnt Leadership debuff will come in clutch against the Beastmen, as already a Zongor is terror routing away from it, and an Ungor Spearman Herd routed away. Malagor is just trying to throw down Flocks of Dooms on this big old blob and get as much damage out as possible. Bloody Reaver Depth Guard fighting against Harpies and Dogs who are in this unholy clump trying to kill a Carronade, but they're not even damaging the Carronade because I think they're getting in their own way. as some of the Harpies move on to fight the other Carronade. Malagor gets into a fight with the Vampire Fleetcaster of Pistols. But they're better on their crabs in melee than you would assume. Gallows Giant's still going to rout off some of the dogs as that nasty burnt debuff gets rid of the dogs and the Harpies. Everybody's leaving. And the Carronades still have taken, like, no damage from these dogs. I wonder if they didn't have attack orders onto the Carronades or what happened there. But now the Beastmen are in mass exodus. There is an unholy clump up there that the Gallows Giant is trying to bring his gun to bear on. Can he fire upon all these clumped up units? Ah, she-ball! He fires at a random thing. I swear he had orders to shoot the clump, but he's decided to shoot at, like, one part of the clump that was actually over here. Malagor's still throwing out Flocks of Dooms, which is good. He's doing good damage to the Vampire Coast. And the Gallows Giant, as with most large artillery pieces, is a little bit artificial in the balance of power. It's very expensive, full health, almost full ammunition. But if you surround him with even, like, basic infantry, he's going to have a bad time. So, that, like, actual battlefield state, I'd say it's even-ish. Maybe the coasts are slightly up, though how much of their units are crumbling does give me a lot of concern. And 2 of those healthy health bars belong to a Carronade that has been in melee all game. We have some Minotaurs who have rallied, but they need orders to come back to the fight. Same with Zongor's dogs and Ungor Spearman herds. So the Beastmen a little slow to get some of their troops back into the battle. Malagor is still trying to find a way to get more Flock of Dooms off. Overcasted Invocation to Heck trying to save 3 units on the front line. I think they're beyond the point of repair. I think they're still going to crumble, but it's a valiant effort. I mean, hitting 3 units with a heal is never that bad of an idea. Butchers of Calton Guard are unfortunately fighting in the Bloody Reaver deck guard right now. They probably need to go over here and clear out these relatively weaker units. Malagor might need to get back into the sky and continue spamming up Flocks of Doom. He hasn't been overcasting them. Yeah, there's another one. I was going to say, it should be off cooldown around now. Oh, the Beastmen are hurting for archers, though. Because also archers delay the game, which is good. For you to just spam more Flocks of Doom or Traderkin or whatever spell you brought, you can just delay the game by having archers shoot in. And then your Minotaurs can get optimal charges, or the Butchers of Calton Guard can kind of back off and scum some healing out or something. Man, the coasts are clumped up. I like Malagor or Flock of Doom, that's fine, but also Traderkin would be fine. Either is acceptable, and you just want to punish blobs like this. Because if the coast spread out, like Yashkov's doing this correctly, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying. If the coast spread out, the Beastmen can swerve in between them and get onto the range units, and if they clump up to protect their range units, then you hit them with Flocks of Dooms and Traderkins. So that part's going to plan. The Beastmen, again, have some units that are rallying, are slowly coming back to the fight, and another Flock of Doom hits the entire mob. The Gallows Giant is uncontested for now. And that Gallows Giant did about as much damage to the Bloody Reaver Death Guard as he did to the Minos, who are also fighting on top of... Oh, that cannon just fired at point-blank range. Anyway, they're fighting on top of the Bloody Reaver Death Guard, who have got it. Yeah, they've gotten a lot of value. Damn. Zongor is trying to beat up on the Gallows Giant along with some Harpies, though the Burnt Leadership debuff takes them out. And that Burnt Leadership debuff is turning out to be really a problem for the Beastmen here. They are not enjoying that whatsoever. Another Flock of Doom hits both the Animated Hulks and some of the Deckhands mobs. Malagor is just a crow man. Just a crow man with a dream. And he gets stomped on by a giant. My god. Actually, something terrible happened to the Vampire Fleet Admiral of Vampires while I wasn't looking. Now, the balance of power shifting so far against the Beastmen is not going to matter, but she did take a lot of damage. Why was this in your recommended, AC Maiden? Bruh, I know you're retired, but you don't have to just come in here and insult me. What the fuck, man? What the... That's fine. Hi, Aaron. Yeah. Caradoc, that's a good point. Wood Elves also rely on physical resistance, and Game 3 got a bunch more magic damage, and also more people got physical resistance, too. Hi, Nardu. Tequila Sunset's here. Did the Gallows monster for the coast get the same missile change like they did for the Soul Grinder of Siege? I don't think so. No, because the flame burst is like one projectile, quote unquote, so it doesn't spread. Is it ever worth it to personally control artillery in multiplayer? Yes, actually, KV, yes. I do it quite a lot as the Dwarves, because you can actually do a lot of damage. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing it default, like, all the time. But I said Dwarves specifically, because usually when I'm playing Dwarves... this. Beastmen. Minotaurs. Ungors. This. With Dwarves, your front line's not going anywhere, and you don't have a lot of micro decisions to make really fast all the time. So by the time you load up a cannon shot, fire, and then get back to your army, nothing really will have changed. Same with the Vampire Coast. The Empire is much harder to use your cannons in that way. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so the Minos are coming at us. Yada, yada. We do decent damage. Yada, yada. So now my cannons are going to be stupid, right? They're not going to do anything. But if you take over, take a look at the Minotaur's health here. I mean, that's a meaningful poke. I took off, like, I don't know, 500 HP by just shooting at it real quick. It didn't take me long at all. Now, you don't want to sit in it. That's the key point. Because I can go out here, I can micro a bunch of units, tell people to run around in circles, be a dumbass, and then come back to it when it's about done reloading. And I came back to it a little too soon, but I'll try and get one more shot off before the cannon crew breaks. But they're not going to fire in melee unless you make them, and you can just make this unit way more effective. Boop. See, another good chunk of damage. So you can use it every once in a while, for sure. I would only recommend it again on factions that don't require a lot of micro and that have high leadership, either because the coast are undead, or dwarves just have high leadership. With the Empire, too much of your front line is going to break, and too many cav engagements are going to go to shit while you're busy playing around with your cannons, so I wouldn't recommend doing it with them. We are going to get to spectate the Supaloop. I'm so excited, you have no idea. This is gonna be insane! Oh fuck, it's Trogdor, what up? Dark Elves and Wood Elves. Two OP bullshit factions. Bye, Caradoc. Have a good sleep. Maiden, that's fair. I would tease me, too. How do you get the Warhammer 1 title screen music to play? When you're on the main menu, there's two little arrows that appear if you hover your mouse over the background. One left and one right. Just go back to the Warhammer 1 background and it'll play the music associated with it. What Elves are OP? I was being sarcastic and shitty, Nardoon. I'm sorry for that. I shouldn't be. This guy showing up to our Pornhub stream. Lit. Hi, Wesley Bravo. And then, yeah, Knighthood, I've never tried to manual fire bolt throwers. I honestly don't know if it'd be worth it, but it doesn't feel like it would be. Alrighty, this is a live game. This is not a replay. So while the army's set up, I won't cast too much stuff. I'll cast it when they're more set up, but I don't like trying to talk about armies and then they move under me and I miss units. Okay, dokie. For the Dark Elves, we have 2 Dark Riders in the Vanguard, 1 Reaper Bolt Thrower, 4 Dark Shards, one of which is the Bolt Fiends, Sorceress of Dark with Soul Stealer and Chillwind, Malice Darkblade, 2 Scourger Chariots, a bunch of Bleak Swords, and Dread Spears in the front line. Very straightforward Dark Elf army. Hopefully it does okay. On the other side, for Trogdor, not giving up on his Wood Elves, he brought 2 Great Stag Knights, 3 Eternal Guard, 3 War Dancers, 3 Glade Riders with Spears, Spellsinger of Life with Regrowth and Earthblood, and the Sisters of Twi'lek with their Eagle Quiver, Soporific Breath, Conjoined Destiny, Silent Horror's Tenacity, and Courage, Firewolf's Moving, Can Fly, Missile Resistance, Physical Resistance, Talon of Dusk, Siege Attacker, Talon of Dawn, Causes Terror, and Wounds. It's a lot of abilities. It's a lot of abilities to go through. And you have to go through them all as the Sisters of Twilight start to shoot at Malice. But here we go. War Dancers gonna fuck up some Dark Elves. Let's go! You know what? This is the battle now. I'm just gonna watch this. Oh no. Don't stab each other. This is a game about friendship. So the War Dancers will get through the front line pretty quickly. The Dark Elves, I mean, they brought Dark Shards at all, and the enemy didn't bring any archers, as a beautiful Breath Attack takes out the Bolt Fiend. So they're going to have to protect these Dark Shards to get a lot of value out of them if they're going to win this game, because they brought these archers, they have to keep them alive. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be going too well, as the archers are already in trouble across the entire front line. We do have Dark Riders sneaking up on the Wood Elves, but unfortunately for the Dark Riders and for Soup, he doesn't have Glade Guard or Way Watchers he can flank like we saw earlier. It's just a full melee Wood Elf rush. And I mean, he can get some juicy rear charges, but it's not going to be as effective as running down Way Watchers or something, as his Dark Shards are trying to run away and get some space. Reaper Bolt Thrower shut down by Glade Riders with Spears. Things are going pretty darn well for the Wood Elves. What can Malice do? Scourger and Chariots trying to kite away from the Great Stag Knights. Murderous Prowess is popped, but for who, as the front line is in dire straits for the Dark Elves already. They did get a nice, sick rear charge in. That won't matter. The Bolt Throwers and the Dark Shards are completely overrun. Great Stag Knights do also manage to catch Scourger and Chariots. Dude, I don't know what you guys are complaining about. Wood Elves are OP. Look at them. Look at them. I feel like the Wood Elves are debated quite a bit. For some reason, the faction that I chose to obsess over. Gonna give them a try for a bit. I mean, they're fun. They're just like, if you're playing to just get raw wins, they're not a good faction for you to be playing. If you're playing just for fun, then sure, yeah, they're fine. Because Warhammer is kind of like Warhammer Total War is kind of like League of Legends. Saying a faction is good or bad is on the margins. In general, all the factions are playable, and you can get wins if you play them well. It's just like, you know, you get like a 5% increase in win chance if you pick a top tier faction over a low tier faction, but like, if you're good at your faction, you'll get more wins than if you're bad at a good faction. So, do whatever makes you happy, man. As the Great Stag Knight's going to plow through the Bleak Swords, already the Dark Elves are miserably far behind. I don't know what they're going to do. I have noticed this with Malice more and more recently. He himself is extremely strong, but he just doesn't have the impact on the overall battlefield. So you'll kind of lose everywhere Malice isn't, and then in the late game, it's just going to be him versus the world. Which is why most people just went back to taking the Soul Stealer Dragon Lady, because she does it all. Poach, you think this fun is better than chasing meta? Yeah. Loads into Dwarves with 2 Thunder Barges. Okay, that shit's ridiculous. But we banned Thunder Barges for a reason. That's why we're superior to Quick Battle. Trogdor was in chat saying he's having a rough night, and then he comes in here with a convincing game like this. I think he was just, what's that thing? Where you play pool really badly, and then you bet money on it, and all of a sudden you start playing real? Damn it, I should know what that term is. People are going to be making fun of me. Can I think of it before chat does? Because you guys are on a delay. I have like 30 seconds to figure it out. It's not sandbagging. Sandbagging is technically correct, but it's not the term I'm thinking of. Fuck! I know what this is! Hustling, I think. It's hustling, right? No. It's not hustling. Hustling? Foxboulder saying hustling. He has a purpose now. Well, Malice is getting to fight the Sisters of Twilight. Even if he gets decent damage down, I mean, Great Stag Knight's coming in the rear, and they are full HP. There's his heal cap. He needs to transform into Zarkan if he's going to delay this game out, but I don't think it really matters. Like, Zarkan's not going to win this, so he can just end it. Match fixing, hustling, sharking, rooking. Okay. Zarkan was not able to come in time. Pool sharking. I think Tequila Sunset's pool sharking me right now. That was a good game for Trogdor. Just a really good Wood Elf rush. Executed it well, got onto the Dark Shards of his enemy, and made sure they didn't get to shoot or get to pew-pew. Scourger and Chariot's got surprisingly high value. But the Dark Shards didn't get anything done. Neither did Reaper Bolt Throwers. They're all just massacred immediately. It was a pleasure to spectate my first game of Soup. Well done, Soup. Well done. I don't think... what was I saying about Soup? Oh, yeah. I think he played fine. I think the builds were just a little too mismatched. This is the same game we just saw. I just wanted to get a thought on what to do. Because I think in-game he played fine. I think his build was just a little weak. And I want to load up why. Now, if you're super sweaty tryhard, Pillar of Bone is a medium small map, so you probably don't want 7 ranged on a map this small. But more importantly, I do have a build making video out there in my playlist for new players if you care. But generally, I recommend against this type of setup, and here's why. He has 5 ranged units and then 2 skirmish ranged units, right? That's 7 ranged units. He has 6 melee units to hide behind. He does have 2 Dark Riders in the distance, so I'll be generous and count them too. He has 8 melee units to defend 7 ranged units. And in the build guide, I say go with the 3-to-1 principle. I would rather have 1 ranged units that defend really well with 3 melee guys than have almost 1-to-1. And you're going to see what happens in this game and why I generally recommend that. Now, the higher level players out there, the players who are better than me, are going to be like, well, I do this shit all the time and it works. Yeah, but I'm not talking to you. The playlist is called for new players, you fuck. So the main point is like, you know, these guys are going to try and block 1 person each, but then since the enemy has so many melee units, they can just 1v1 your entire front line. See, all of the Dark Elves are now busy doing shit. And yet there's still this extra stuff. And what's going to peel these Great Stag Knights, right? Scourger Chariots? No, they're ranged units you're trying to defend. And he defends them. We see later they get good value, and that's great. But the Scourge Runners aren't actually blocking. So if you look at it, knowing now the Scourge Runners are units he's trying to defend, not units he's trying to block with, there's nothing over here to block this. All of his blockers are now busy. And then Trogdor just leverages that, sends in some cav over here, sends some infantry over here, and starts fucking these guys up, and he can't defend his ranged units. So that's more of a build problem. Soup played fine. He controlled all of his units pretty well. He didn't really forget any units that I saw. It was just like, he couldn't defend his range, just get shut down. Then he's playing the game from like a 3,000 gold deficit, and he loses. Like, shit happens. Which, now, to be fair, if the Wood Elves had gone with more shooting, it would have been fine, but them's the breaks. It is in fact a new player tournament. To some of the YouTube comments that are so cruel and heartless. How could you not brag about having a... What the hell's behind the heart? A distro named Purple Rock Smasher. I don't know. What up, Art Splash? Okay, what do we got here? Balrain on his beloved Chaos Dwarfs. I believe they're his main faction, or at least the one he sends me the most replays from. And Greyheart. That's a name I recognize, but I don't recognize the player. Like, I don't know if I've seen a lot of his games, but I've seen his name around. Ghost, the tournament's closed. This one is, yes, we are in the middle of it, but I do host a new player tournament every single week. And every other week, the time zone flips. So this is during NA nighttime. Next week, it'll be during EU time. Then this week, the week after that, it'll be NA again. So NA, EU, NA, EU, NA, EU. But there's one every single week. Just hop on our Discord to sign up. If you don't know where to find it, just like ping me or one of my admins. But you can go to Give Radog a role, and that gives you the new player role, and I post one every week. But yep, every single week, we have a new player tournament. Every single one. What should rats do in Dom and Raksha? I don't know. I've played like 5 games of Domination, and I am dog shit at it. So don't ask me these things. What days do you typically host these? 2 out of the 4, you know, because I host it once a week. So 2 out of the 4 times a month I host on weekends. 2 out of the 4 times I host during the weekdays, usually Wednesdays or Tuesdays. Or, of course, on the weekends, Saturday. But enough of that. We got a game. For the Chaos Dwarfs, the front line of Hobgoblin Cutthroats, Infernal Ironsworn, Blazing Beards, Ogleclown's Wolfblaze, and then some Blunderbusses, Bull Centaur Ranger's Grey Opens, the Demon's Tongue, and then a Sorcerer Prophet of Fire with Burning Head. You know, aside for Chaos, we have Marauders with Great Weapons who are getting annihilated by the blasting charges. Forsaken as well. Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, more Forsaken, a Chaos Giant, and some Hellstriders of Slaanesh. In comes the Burning Head down the line. It's going to try and curve and get those Marauders. We'll see if that'll be effective. There's also a Chaos Lord of Khorne and Skull Crushers, though I am not sure that those will really bear much fruit. Hellstriders of Slaanesh with 100 speed, trying to catch the Ogleclown's Wolf Boys, who only have 92. But speed is a fickle mistress in Warhammer, my friends. So I think those guys will still find themselves having trouble catching up. And it is a rough start here for the forces of Chaos, but we'll see if they can get a little bit back as a Giant goes clubbing, getting big shots onto the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, who does have a little bit of healing from his Chalice, but that's not going to be nearly enough as this dude's getting crushed. Cascading Fire Cloak going to give him 24 more melee defenses. He takes another shot in the back for the Giant. The Chaos Lord of Khorne is not about to let him go as the Blunderbusses try and fire into all these guys, buy a little bit of space. They're doing so much damage to the Skull Crushers. It hurts so bad. If they can maybe finish the Lord Snipe, that'll be okay, but I don't know. Hellstriders getting the Ogleclown's Wolf Boys, but they are fighting next to Bull Centaur Ranger's Grey Opens. We'll see how much that matters as the Chaos Lord of Khorne is determined to keep this Giant Bull on the ground. There's another Burning Head out from the Chaos Dwarfs to get rid of the Forsaken. And I don't know if the Sorcerer Prophet of Metal has cast any spells yet, but he kind of needs to do that. Yeah, he hasn't cast any spells yet. He needs to throw out some Searing Dooms or Final Transmutations or something like that. Forsaken fighting random Orc Laborers on the backside. Hellstriders and Slaanesh trying to get into the fight, but the Chaos Dwarfs are still pulling ahead on the bounce power, mostly because of these Blunderbusses being free and clear until right now. Chaos Sorcerer of Metal gets onto one, though he's going to terror out any second here. There he goes. And Hellstriders sacrificing themselves to stop these Blunderbusses while the Chaos Lord of Khorne is still on the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, really trying to make him pay, but now he will get up into this guy's Chaos Sorcerer, the Chaos Lord of Khorne. Stopped to get a couple auto attacks off. It's too much. The Chaos Dwarf Lord gets away. Skull Crushers having to fight Bull Centaur Ranger's Great Weapons. They will lose that fight badly. So it looks like they're trying to opt out. And there's a Final Transmutation. It will proc his little Blood Chalice healing, but especially an Overcast Final Transmutation will still do way more damage than that thing's going to heal. So it is overall worth it. But the Bull Centaur renders. Looks like only a couple of their models are here, but a couple models are still plenty to do a lot of damage to a Chaos Knight, as the Lord of Khorne is still trying to deal with the Blunderbusses and keep his Giant safe. Good scrap so far here from the two contestants. The Warriors of Chaos definitely got the worst end of most of the engagements. Like, Chaos Dwarfs did so much damage to them on the way in, but they're holding firm, and their single entities did a lot better. Hellstriders trying charge onto Oglecon's Wolf Boys. They don't seem to be moving just yet, and as soon as those guys get their poison on them, these guys will be dead. 78 speed versus the 100 of the Hellstriders. They should get routed off here. Forsaken plus the Giant gonna rout off blunderbusses, but here come the Bull Centaur Renders, refreshed and ready to go. We still have some elite infantry of the Chaos Dwarfs, a full health Demon's Tongue. And that is some tough stuff. They really only hope here for Chaos. As I say that, the Giant is kicking tons of ass. Anyway, the only real hope for here for Chaos is to get a Lord Snipe on the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire once and for all to maybe make the Chaos Dwarfs a little more vulnerable. Chaos Sorcerer of Metal is fighting. He has plenty of Winds of Magic for an Overcast and Final Transmutation. He's just waiting on the cooldown because we're 4.5 minutes in the game and I've seen one spell cast from him. So he has to have the Winds of Magic somewhere. An Overcast and Final Transmutation will kill him, especially because for 8 more seconds he doesn't even have his Chalice heal, but even with it, we saw how much it overcomes the damage in previous. So hopefully he has that Final Trans soon and can finish off the Chaos Dwarf Lord. Meanwhile, Forsaken and Hellstrider is going to get routed away from the Iron Demon. That will also rout away the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, and that means the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire is safe for another day. Chaos Trolls and Forsaken fighting to the last against the Chaos Dwarves, but to the last is kind of a key word here. Cascading Fire Cloak going to buff up those guys. It looks like the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire. Too many Chaos and Sorcerer and Lords going around. Anyway, Sorcerer Prophet of Fire is just going to hover above the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal. See? They're both sorcerers. It's annoying. Nothing they can do to peel. The Chaos Lord of Khorne, not the Sorcerer Lord and not the Sorcerer Prophet, but the Chaos Lord of Khorne, is the last thing that's not routing here for the forces of Chaos. And he can't touch the Sorcerer Prophet. And he will lose to the Demon's Tongue. I will fast forward as this is a replay, and I don't have to watch him fumble around like a fool. Like a worm beneath the Chaos Dowie Tide. Train is going to go kick his ass while he tries to fight his way out. And he'll do decently versus the Iron Demon. Like, he's a pretty solid duelist character. But in comes Bull Centaur Renders with their great weapons. We still have blunderbusses firing away on the sides, and we do have Infernal Ironsworn to offer support too. So there's just like way too much for him to be able to kill on his own. Hey, strat game. What did you call yourself when I'm on hyped? Myers or something? What did I do? I don't know what I did. Good win by Bahrain. Overall, pretty good game. Iron Demon did amazingly. Chaos Dwarf Heavy Infantry and their Bull Centaur Renders did fine. Blunderbusses did alright. And then look at this Orc Laborer value. I wonder what he was fighting. The other side, Chaos Lord of Khorne actually did okay. Final Transcaster did fine. Marauders of Great Ones got wrecked. Forsaken got wrecked. Hellstriders paid for themselves, which is not a usual thing for them. The Chaos Giant also did very well. Skull Crushers are unfortunately still bad. Oh, you're talking to Strat. A mistake you won't repeat again. I want to thank you for having these tournaments. It's nice to have somewhere to play and learn the multiplayer side of the game. Hell yeah, Nardu. You know what, Nardu? Fine. You've bullied me enough. You have bullied me enough. Let us show the people where you can find new player games any time of day, not just during the tournament. So, as I said, if you go to my server, you can get the Rat Ogre role. Right. That just marks you as a new player and gives you access to these chats. There's a new player only chat, which is full of just new players, and then some of like admins or coaches, which I'll get to what coaches are in a second. But yeah, it's just gonna be new players here. We do have our best of one practice pit, which is just a bot that matches you up with only other new players. There's no super pro players in here, and doesn't track your score. We also have our list of coaches. If you're trying to learn some factions, you can just go to the coaches list and like ping any one of these people. Like Blood Penguin and myself are on here every so often, right? There's a whole list of people. So if you're trying to learn Dark Elves, you can hit up Sippa, Umais, Pick and Bam, Champ, Umbrella, One-Arm, Coops, and then Stormrunner. And for, like, people on this list want to be on this list. If they don't want to be pinged by you, if they don't want to get messages from you, we take them off the list. Like, this is voluntary, so just don't feel bad at all about messaging these people. They literally signed up for this. And then also, you can post your replays in Replays for Coaches, and people will hop in. We have had a lot of new players posting their replays in here, so sometimes the coaches are slow to answer, but we are trying. You can even throw quick battle replays in here. Like, it doesn't have to be tournaments. It doesn't have to be from our server. You just throw a quick battle replay in here and be like, hey, what did I do wrong, guys? And someone will answer you. If you're not feeling like hanging out in just a new player area, we do have a best of 3 bot that goes at all times. It does give us a leaderboard. And from that leaderboard, we do host playoffs. We are currently on Season 6. Playoffs are usually Steam money or cash prizes. Tournaments are divided up into people of your ranking. So, like, the Greyseers will all fight each other. Chieftains all fight each other. Storm Vermin all fight each other. Clanards will fight each other. Skaven Slaves will fight each other. So, if you play on the bot, you get ranked, and then you fight a tournament of other people of your rank. And then there's also matchup discussion in here. Again, that's not new player. This is just free-for-all. Fucking anybody can post anything. So the advice you get might be shit, but it is what it is. They are much faster to respond than the Hell Pit chat or the Replays for Coaches, because this is a curated list of people, while matchup discussion is the 1,000+ people in this server just throwing shit at the walls. But, like, there's still some good advice in there. I'm not trying to say it's all wrong. I'm also just not saying I've read it and can vouch for its legitimacy. For all I know, they're saying stuff that's completely wrong. I don't know. But yeah, it's a good server to learn some multiplayer shit. Get in there, play some games. And also the Warpstone Cup starts Saturday. Biggest tournament you've ever seen. Oh my god, it's amazing. Sign up for that. We have 108 signups, but then we had how many more? So now we're at 111 signups for that. It starts Saturday. Okay, I'm done promoting this shit. Let's get back to the games. Fuck you. I thought I saved a replay. Somebody sent me a replay. Zero, you said you would send me Khorne versus Dwarves. You said you would send it. And then I said, no, I'm okay. Well, now I'm saying I'm not okay. Send me the replay. Meanwhile, we have Yashkov versus Corvus Glaive! Let's fucking go! It's Corvus Glaive! I love Corvus Glaive. Like, I have never heard from Corvus Glaive, or if I have forgotten. So Corvus Glaive doesn't even know that I love him. He doesn't watch the streams, as far as I know. He just signs up for the tournaments, plays in the tournaments, and goes to bed. He has no idea that I fucking love his builds. He's just so funny. His Khorne builds are always amazing. His Dwarf builds are also pretty funny. We love Corvus Glaive. He's just out here living his best life. But he's fighting my boy Yashkov, so Corvus Glaive's about to suffer a loss. Buff the Hell Pit Abomination Brood Horror already? Yeah, it's Skaven single entities do need to buff. Pick anything and win. That's a pretty good strat. It's a pretty good strat. Alright, for Yashkov, we have a Greenskin Surround coming in on some dwarves here. We have Durkat Squighoppers, the Rusty Errors, a Night Goblin Shaman with the buffed Vindictive Glare, and then some Sneaky Stabbin'. 3 Nasty Skulkers. 2 Goblin Rocklavas, 1 versus the Hammer of Gork. Then we have some Squig Herds, Trolls, Orc Arboys, a front line of Savage Orcs paired up with Grimgore Ironhide, and the Crimson Killers. On the other side, for the Dwarfs, we have some Thunderers, we have some Dwarf Warriors, minus some Blasting Charges, Dwarf Warriors with Great Weapons, a Flame Cannon, more Longbeards, Slayers, Belagar Iron Hammer, and a second Flame Cannon. The Flame Cannons did just get buffs, so who knows, maybe they're OP now. As a Vindictive Glare comes in, hits 3 of the Flame Cannons, doesn't knock any of them out. In comes the fire. Oh god, we're burning! Oh, we're taking tens of damage! tens of damage. I don't know if we'll hold any longer. Careful, a second volley. What will we do when we lose a model? A single model and double volleys from artillery? My God. My God. Zero! Zero, when will you return to us, my friend? You're not allowed to enjoy your life and play other games. You must play Total War Warhammer with your boys. Savage Orcs and Squigs currently getting miners with blasting charged. Meanwhile, the Rock Labas are chucking rocks in, and Thunder is about to turn and deal with some nasty Skulkers as the Skulkers are in. Gonna fight Slayers. Slayers will body the poor little nasty Skulkers. But can these guys get a wah to get them through the miners with blasting charges? They don't have a ton of melee attack. They need a little bit more to get through those thick dwarves, and a wah could provide just that, but we'll see when it happens to come out, as the Night Goblin Chamber is going to help Savage Orcs and Trolls get through the front line, and Grimgor is here to party. Dirk and Swighoppers getting routed off already, though they did do a nasty amount of work onto the Thunderers. And the Orc Auror Boys are in position. Can they fire at Slayers, which would be the correct target? And where the hell is that wah? Give me a wah! 3, 2, 1. Wah? No wah. Flame Cannon's trying to fire into the front line. They do have the burnt leadership debuff, but they do so little damage that I don't think even the Greenskins will care, as the Orc Auror Boys are getting a little bit of damage out onto the Slayers. Goblin Rock Labas refuse to let him go. Where's the wah? I just want a wah! Trolls getting awfully close to routing, but they do get sneaky stabbing to give them more armor piercing and melee attacks to charge into the Thunder, as Belegar is standing around ominously, thinking about the days when he used to rule Carrick Gate Peaks, but not anymore, bitch! It belongs to Queek. Hey, there's the wah! And some of you astute observers out there who know the lore might say, does it Scarsnick? Dude, fuck Scarsnick, it's Queeks. Scarsnick's just holding on to it for him while Grimgor gets into the Thunderers. He's about to smack through some Dowie. There they go, flying around, blood out of their noses. Like they're in an anime and they just saw a rather pretty lady, but it's not an anime, and that Grimgor is not a pretty lady. He is a pretty man. Pretty man fungus bear pig. Thunderers are routing. Flame Cannon still holding strong for now, shooting at things, doing some stuff. Almost at 500 value. That's impressive for a unit that costs 3 times that much. I don't remember how much they cost, but it's more than 500. As Slayers and Dwarf Warriors are going to beat up on Nasty Skulkers, the Nasty Skulkers losing the will to fight because they are cowardly goblins after all. The Greenskins still pulling a little bit ahead of the Dwarfs here. Orc Auror Boys, the Goblin Rock Loggers are completely uncontested, firing wherever they please in the backline. I will say the Rock Lobbers should probably be focusing on clumps of armored infantry rather than continuing to try and duel with the Flame Cannons, because clearly dueling with the Flame Cannons isn't getting much done, to be honest. You just need to clear out the massive amount of infantry. As the Crimson Killers think about maybe rallying to Grimgor's age, or maybe someone somewhere kills the Flame Cannons. I don't know. Just like spitballing. I know I'm joking about how little damage they're doing, but it is getting sad just watching them do no damage, so can someone just like kill them and get this over with, because this is getting really fucking depressing. Somebody stop the Flame Cannons. Vindictive Glare takes out some of the Flame Cannon models as they're still just shooting the Crimson Killers. And it's not doing anything! Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I don't know what the Rock Lobbers are shooting at. They're shooting at something. Belegar is coming back with full HP to think about maybe dueling Grimgor for once in his life instead of being a little coward all the time. The Crimson Killers get knocked over by something. I'm not super sure what, as they're just roasting in these Flame Cannons. Rusty Arrows and Orc Auror Boys are falling back away from some Dwarf Warriors, trying to kite them out while Savage Orcs and Squigs take out some Miners. And these, the Rock Labas, it looks like they have orders on someone who routed. It's the Thunderers. So they're trying to chase down Thunderers, but they really need to just be focusing up on this gigantic, unholy clump of Dwarf Warriors right here. Their armor-piercing shots would do very well here, and their low accuracy wouldn't matter because they're so clustered you kind of can't miss. As the Flame Cannons continue to, like, try. Their burnt debuff is unironically actually helpful as it routes off a Savage Orc and a Squig, but they still haven't done any damage. Look at it! Just look at it! Look at it! It's not even 500 value yet! It's been firing all goddamn game! All goddamn game! 6 minutes of firing into Greenskins, 500 value. It sucks! As the Trolls come in behind it to finally put this thing out of its misery. Knocks another cannon bottle offline. This Troll's going for the last cannon bottle because it's distracted by the crew as more Dwarves run up to save their useless ass Flame Cannon. Night Goblin Shaman's thinking about routing because the Flame Cannon tickled him and he didn't like it. Tickle me Elmo, more like Flame Cannon me Elmo. Got him. And he routes like a little coward. This Flame Cannon's still firing away as Troll's still trying to take out that last Flame Cannon up there. Grimgor is fighting with his Blood-Forged armor. Does a little kooky explosion. And then Belegar runs up to deal with him. He does have the best of the best. Gets plus 10 melee defense since Belegar's nearby. Makes him feel all fluttery inside. He has the butterflies in his tum-tum. The Goblin Rock Lobbers are now going to fire at a cluster of dwarves. I like that. I like that a lot. That is good. Archers are moving up to help out a little bit. They do need to kill off the Slayers that are surrounding Grimgor. Grimgor's down to half HP. Belegar's no slouch in melee either. Oh, God, he has Revenge Incarnate and the Hammer of Angrund. Oh, no, Grimgor's actually in trouble. That's not a meme. Grimgor's actually in deep shit. Belegar is kind of a nutty duelist if he pops all of those buffs at any point in time. Because with the Mighty Oathstone and Revenge Incarnate, yeah, he's about to get nuts. Never mind. This is just rally. Gives him more leadership. Blood-Forged armor is out again as Grimgor tries to clear out some things. More dwarves peeling off, nasty skulkers, and trolls. Night Goblin Shaman is still running away, and the Rock Lobbers are going to fire at point-blank range. But I don't want to miss Belegar popping his buffs because that would be kind of epic. Grimgor also hasn't popped his buffs in a while. Get Snick and Stand Your Ground and stuff. He just keeps popping Blood-Forged armor over and over again. I kind of want to see like the real Duel of Fates, and if I look away for even a second, I'm going to miss it. As the archers are now firing upon the Flame Cannon, trying to take it out once and for all. There's Get Snicks and Stand Your Ground. Belegar, you need your buffs, man, or you're going down. Grimgor with 94, 79 for melee stats, and then a shitload of armor piercing. Belegar doesn't have the Mighty Oathstone, doesn't have Revenge Incarnate, he doesn't have shit. He's getting creamed by Grimgor. This is all I care about. I don't care about the rest of the battle. You can go to heck. Mighty Oathstone is out, but a Vindictive Glare from behind will hit Belegar. Might lower his leadership enough to make him think about leaving, and he never gets Revenge Incarnate off. He just dies a horrendous death to the Ironhide. Army losses hits the dwarves. The Greenskins will be victorious. With a few decisions that make them Quick Battle unplayable for the time being, what did they do to make Quick Battle unplayable? The Thunder Barge has made Quick Battle unplayable for quite a while. The Flame Cannons might have done something if they hadn't targeted the only armored unit on the map. Maybe, but I still think Flame Cannons are bad. Like, I don't think an artillery unit is good if it's only meant to target lightly armored infantry at medium ranges to do moderate damage to them. Like that's not how things are gonna go. Corvus Glaive trying to hold it down. Flame Cannon, one of them did okay. The other one did not. Both of them should have done amazing considering how long they were left to fire. Slayers did great. Dwarf Warriors and Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, more mixed value. Hunters of Blasting Charges did fine. And Thunderers got shut down. For Yashkov, Grimgor did a good work. Crimson Killers did not do amazing, but his Rock Lobbers did fine, especially the Goblobber. Basic Trolls doing well for like the first time in their entire lives. Savage Orcs did okay, but the Orc Arror Boys, the Rusty Arrors did well. And the Nasty Skulkers not doing great. Nasty Skulkers are like my poster child for good on paper, strangely bad in real life. I don't know why. I'm going to check in on the tournament and just see if I am needed for final stuff. People are in the last round, but no one is... Well, some people are done, but... Still most people playing, so let's cast Lymphata versus Zero real quick. Zero repping his Khorne still versus the Dwarfs of Lymphata. How much do they cost nowadays, Fin cans? I think $10.50? I think. As a high elf main coming in a quick battle versus Dwarves, Empire, Grank Thay. Yeah, real fun. Oh, are you talking about the mini patch or the big patch that was like a month ago? Because, yeah, the DLC patch, like, Quick Battle is fucking unplayable because of the Thunder Barge. And land ship and steam tanks and stuff. But, I don't know. I have not been a fan of Quick Battles for a very long time. Like, halfway through Warhammer 2, I was like, yeah, Quick Battles suck. I get real unlucky. And if you need evidence of that, go watch any live stream where I played Quick Battles to fill time, and over 2/3 of my games were fucking horrible. Where it was like, I load into a game and the guy has 140 models for his army, and I'm like, great, it's like a Nurgle blob with 3 single entities and then, like, trolls. Total War Neighbor and the viewers just joined, say hello. I won't. I'm not gonna. You can't make me. But hi, and thanks for joining. I hope you're having a good day. Alright. Dwarfs versus Khorne. Chaos Warhounds of Khorne trying to flank some Thunderers with Grudge Rakers and a Grudge Thrower. Nice flank there. Gonna get good damage out. Then we have Slayers, Dwarf Warriors, Great Weapons, Grombrindle, the White Dwarf, Miners of Blasting Charges, Slayers, and then 2 Gyrocopters up in the sky with their armor-piercing steam bullets. On the side of Khorne, we have Chaos Knights of Khorne, Valkia, the dogs we mentioned earlier, some Minos with their anti-infantry, and then Marauders of Khorne, and a Skull Cannon. The flame cannon is so bad you have to leave alone all game and let it shoot, and it would be like a water gun shooting at a brick wall. Yeah. Dogs have routed both the Grudge Rakers and the Grudge Thrower, and they're onto another Thunderer, as Khorne is steamrolling through this Dwarven front line right now. Chaos Knight's taking a lot of damage fighting Slayers and getting shot by Gyrocopters, so they're not having a good time, but the rest of the Khorne roster is doing fantastically well. Just getting straight through these guys. Valky's even going to dive in and help with some Slayers. That might be a little risky, but have you used Spear? She has 1 charge of Spear left, though it is definitely on cooldown if we're this early into the game and she only has 1 Spear left. Skull Cannon firing up at the Gyrocopters. I'm actually curious if it penetrates or if it hits 1 unit and then stops. It hits no units and then keeps going. Oh, okay, that's not an option I considered, but that's bad. Fuck you, Skull Cannon. Flame Cannon makes me so sad because it got in the perfect spot if she was trying just to re-ruin it. Oh, are you talking about when it fired the fireballs before they changed it to the stream? Because then it was actually, like, kind of good. More Dwarf Warriors and Miners are thinking about routing as the Minotaurs are charging into their rears. Now the Dwarves are surrounded on all sides. And while Saurus Warriors would say, great, now we can fight in every direction, Dwarf Warriors are not like that. They will turn coward and run away. Skull Cannon is missing an awful lot of its shot against these Gyrocopters. I don't know if I'm a fan, but Valkia is here to wreck some fools. Takes out 2 models in 2 swings. Where's the 3rd swing? Does it take out a 3rd model? Yes, it does. She's a one-hit wonder, and she's going after Gyrocopters. I don't know. This is a scene straight out of like a movie where there's this demon lady just jumping from Gyrocopter to Gyrocopter, slamming her sword through the windshield and, like, bringing them down. Before our heroes are in one of these Gyrocopters and they're like, we have to land! There's nowhere to land! I know a place! And then the main character takes you to a place that, like, is somehow nearby and also has... Is that a Sword of Khorne trying to hit the Gyrocopters? Holy shit, he's a legend! He missed, but he's a legend! Anyway. The main character would somehow know a safe house nearby, and they would get there and land, and they'd be like, I think we're safe for now, and then Valkia hits the door at that moment, and they have to run. And even though she could catch literal helicopters, somehow running through the forest keeps them kind of safe, and she's always just out of reach. And the fact that you don't know what movie I'm making a parody of right now is the point. Hollywood, get new ideas, because I'm listing at least like 6 movies' plots right now. Army losses is hitting as the Gyrocopters post-rework are still very sad creatures, and I am not sad to see them go, but it is objectively a nerf. The Gyrocopters took big nerfs, and I'm fine with it. I think Gyrocopters are not fun. They're cool. They're very cool, and I wish they were better for campaign's sake, because I think they're fun in campaign. But in multiplayer, flying skirmish units that are very quick and easy to dodge range fire with were not good unit design, in my opinion. Pre-rework. Post-rework, they're fine. They're a little weak. They could use the buffs, as much as it pains me to say it. They did actually get good value here, which is nice. I guess shooting at those Khorne Knights, but I still don't think they're very good. Khorne Knights got rolled, but the Minotaurs did great. Skull Cannon didn't do much. Dogs did fantastically amazing, and Valkia took down some gyrocopters. They should have the Schwarzenegger voice. The choppers. Get to the chopper! No. That's copyright infringement. We don't stand for that here on the Human Boy Yes Yes Network. We just don't stand for it. Trogdor sent us his replay for the day. Yashkov sent us another one, though I have cast 3 out of his 4 games, so I will put it on the back burner if I have extra time, but I won't like go out of my way to cast it. I'll try and cast other people's stuff. Because I'm sure they are sick of my shit. Alright, there's one game left going on. It's Bahrain versus 0. So let's figure out where the scores are, shall we? And in case you don't want to stare at a replay screen, you come with me as I figure out the scores. That's new. No 4-0s. Okay, so who had bye rounds? Bahrain. That's actually 0. I had them switch. So Bahrain, 0, Bongo, and Lymphata each get a point. Does that help us? Bahrain goes up to 3. 0 would go up to 3. Lymphata goes up to 2. Bongo goes up to 1. Okay, so that ties 0 and Bahrain at 3. Which means if Bahrain wins versus Bongo, because he's quote-unquote 0, if Bahrain wins versus Bongo, then he's a 4-0. Because he had a bye round. That's not his fault. So then he would win for the night. Yes. I think he's the only one who can 4-0. Because who else was a 3? 0 was a 3, but 0 lost somewhere, I think. Yeah, 0 lost versus Yashkov. Okay. So there's no other 4-0s possible besides Bo. Bahrain. I guess we'll save doing complicated math until we figure out how that goes. All right, one second. Okay. So Bahrain's just starting his game right now with 0. Let me spec. We're going to spectate the game. So if Bahrain wins this game we're about to spectate, he wins the whole tournament. If 0 wins... Oh, fuck. What does that mean? Round format. How many people would I have? You're still with me, right? Yeah. How many people would be tied at 3? So if Bahrain loses, he got a bye round, so he had 1 point there, so he'd be a 3. 0 would be 3, because he's about to fight Bahrain due to complicated reasons. So he would be a 3. So at least 0 and Bahrain would tie. Yashkov, did you have a bye round this time? No. Corn dog. No bye round. Soup. Soup with the fat 2 points. No bye round, so I don't have to give you a point. Trogdar. No buy round. Greyheart. No buy round. Okay, okay. So the most we have is one tie. Or Bahrain just wins it. That's not as complicated. I was worried that like all these twos were gonna tie, and then I'd have to deal with that, and that would just be a whole pain in the ass. Which is extra funny because if Bahrain loses this, he and Zero tie and have to play a final tiebreaker, so they'll just fight each other again. That's too good. That's funny. All right, we're joining the lobby now, and I'm leaving you on the right-hand screen so you can't see while I get set up here. This is either the final game if Bahrain wins, or the second to last game if Zero wins, and then they'll face off again. I will notify the players that that's the situation. The players have been made aware of the situation. I will now catch back up with chat. Hi, lol guy. Bit longer than the leaderboard bug. Yeah, the leaderboard's been bugged forever. Are you wearing your own merch? I'm wearing one of my many Skaven shirts, but it's not my merch. I don't profit from it. I got it for Christmas. Them there Christmasin'. I got distracted. Dark Elves versus Khorne? I don't know. I don't know if they've done their picks and bans. Oh, fuck. Okay, they write it up. Yeah, we're doing Dark Elves versus Khorne. Jesus. Jesus! You wouldn't know, but you presume Dark Elves have the advantage? Probably slightly, but after all the Khorne buffs and after the slow Dark Elf nerfs, because they have been getting nerfed, like, slowly. It's definitely getting closer. I'd probably put it at like a 55-45 matchup at this point. But yeah, it's not unplayable for Khorne anymore. Is Lizardman still competitive? Hell yeah. Lizardmen are still very good. They're very, very good. Oi, let's do this. The main problem for Khorne in this matchup and most other matchups is their inability to deal with flying units. So the Dark Elf Soul Stealer Dragon Caster, if that is what your opponent brings, is still pretty hard to deal with. Where you can either spend a whole game chasing her around with Valkia or Exalted Bloodthirsters or whatever your flying lord is. Like, you could do that, but she's going to get more value than you by getting breath attacks whenever she feels like stopping and just using a breath attack quick. Or using her Soul Stealers and like charging into stuff and then just getting back into the sky while you chase around it effectively. Or you can bring Chaos Furies, which won't do that much damage to her, and again, she can just ignore for your ground stuff. So Khorne doesn't have the resources to really punish her in the sky too much, as long as she keeps moving. And then you don't have the ground-based anti-air to really deal with her, so Dark Elves just have extra security in their Lord in the Sky with the Soul Stealer caster. Now, is it impossible to kill her? No, she could fuck up, but, like, it's a, you know, I said it's a 55-45 matchup. I'm not trying to say it's impossible. It's just like, oh, okay. You don't really have an Air Force to deal with. The Supreme Sorceress. Not even a Soul Stealer Supreme Sorceress. Pit of Shades and Melkoths, plus the Breath Attack. Really going for maximum clearing of a heavy Khorne front line. Otherwise, for the Dark Elves here, we have triple Shade, more armor-piercing missile strength. Triple Cold One Knight, and then a front line of Dread Spears and Witch Elves. Witch Elves have been changed. They no longer have Rampage. Well, okay, they Rampage. They don't Rampage anybody else, but they do get a big old damage buff, Rampage themselves, and run forward. You do want to pop that pretty much as soon as you get into melee combat, because they're just going to take so much damage that you really don't want to wait with it. On the other side, it is an unholy horde of Khorne infantry. Zero brought a bunch of Marauders, Chaos Warriors with dual weapons, Chaos Warriors with halberds, Valkia the Bloody, and 2 Chaos Knights. We saw, and 2 dogs. We saw a build kind of like this earlier versus Kislev. He had an Exalted Bloodthirster, not Valkia, but just like spamming out as many Khorne bodies as possible. It did not work then, as I have groaned many times about infantry win conditions. They're very, very hard to win games with. But we'll see. Because this time he actually has decent mobility, right? 2 dogs, 2 Chaos Knights, and Valkyas. It's not like a ton, but the Dark Elves only have 3 Cold Knights, so it's like, you might be able to get onto those Shades. But if you get down to a late game where all your mobility's dead and they have Shades and Cav, they're just going to cycle charge you with the Cav and kite you with the Shades, and you'll just lose. Doesn't matter how many infantry you have at this point, you are just going to get whittled down. Beautiful Chaos Knight charge in. Melkoth starting out onto those Chaos Knights, and now the Shades are going to fire back into them and try and get a bit of vengeance for those Witch Elves. Cold Knights and Dread Spears taking a fight with the Chaos Knights of Khorne on this side, so that should be a really great trade for the Dark Elves in the end. And yeah, those Chaos Knights of Khorne are getting deleted by the Shades. Sure, they took out a Witch Elf, but at what cost? Now the dogs are in. They should get peeled pretty quickly here. These are not Flesh Hounds, so they're not demonic. They will terror route away as dogs do, but they're a good little distraction. They got a lot of damage on the Shades, not complaining at all. Khorne did get through part of the front line initially. Cold Knights are holding, though, trading up against the Chaos Knights, especially with Spear and Shade support. And Khorne is still trying to get through here. They've routed some Witch Elves. They've done some other things, but a nasty Pit of Shade is going to hit this clump. Looks like it'll kind of tickle this Marauder. It's hard to tell where that Marauder's center is. But it hits this Chaos Warrior and this other Marauder full on. The Witch Elves holding them back are also taking a little bit of friendly fire. And the Shades have been peeled for now. Valkia is still stopping one. One of the Chaos Knights of Khorne is getting pushed away, and the Dark Elves are doing just fine. Damage value is very even, but bounce power is favoring the Dark Elves, and I must say I agree, as these Chaos Warriors with halberds, unshielded, only armor to protect them, and these are armor-piercing missiles you are fighting, my friend. They get slammed. A breath attack comes over the top trying to deal with them. A rear shot from the other Shades that Valkia abandoned does probably seal the fate of those Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Terror Route will take them. And Chaos Knights also trying to get back here and deal with the Shades. Khorne's still pushing up. Their front line should be able to kill all the Dark Elves. It's not really the issue. It's just how long can you keep the Shades up. Full health Cold Knight uncontested as the other Knight of Khorne is gone. And this is the exact endgame scenario I was telling you to look out for, but not in a good way. Because we do still have 2 healthy Cold One Knights that can try and peel for these Shades, so if Balring can really separate out this fight and get his Shades to safety, then he can just slow this game down to whatever pace he wants to set it at, and just slowly kite out Khorne with cycle charging and with Shades. Running and shooting, and running and shooting, and running and shooting. Occasional breath attacks and Melkoths do some extra damage. Khorne's keeping up on the damage value for now. I'm just worried about how the game will go from there. Hey, Zuko. How's the Fire Nation doing? Another Pit of Shades is in, and that's onto a Chaos Warrior. It's a pretty good target. Might want to do the dual weapons. Oh, no. No, I take that back. I get what he's doing. He's taking out the silver shielded Chaos Warriors with magic so that his Shades can deal with the dual weapons. That's fine. Still some Halberds trying to pursue these Shades. And they will catch them, but these other Shades look like they're going for some... Ooh, that is a Sword of Khorne! Oh, Sword of Khorne! It doesn't do that much damage to Cavalry, though. Still good poke. Still good damage. And a good cast. And a really good spear. Damn. Two nice abilities there from Khorne, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Breath Attack, not the player's fault, but very unlucky it targeted this Chaos Warrior with dual weapons instead of the line there, so that's just unlucky. But the Shades are kiting. Those Halberds we saw earlier are dead. And now the Shades falling back. To kite another day. I will say the Cold Knights are staying in the fight for too long, and they're taking a lot more damage than they need to be. They could just be charging in whenever the Chaos Warriors get too close to the Shades, and then the Shades run away while the Cold Knights sit there and hold. And then as soon as the Shades are in firing position, the Cold Knights back off and refresh their charge. They could be doing that, but they are standing and fighting, which, like, if you want to stand and fight with Khorne, you're going to have a bad time. You can see by the bad time they're having. Shades still slowly kiting it out with these guys. Chaos Warriors of Khorne are running. Witch Elves look like they're going to try and chase them, make sure they don't come back. So those Chaos Warriors actually have a decent amount of health. And the not, like, perfect cycle charging of the Cold Knights is costing the Dark Elves a lot. They've taken over the balance of power rather convincingly, but I'm not so sure that this is actually army losses. Like, army loss is going to happen. I'm just not saying, I'm not sure it's deserved. Because at this point, like, you have two half-health Shades, a full-health Dragon Lord. Everything else here is so tattered that Khorne's going to start rallying on the far side and walking you down. Now, again, the Dark Elves have all the agency. They can kite infinitely with these Shades and win. Like, I get that, but I don't really know why the balance of power is saying that it's so terrible. Because the game doesn't usually factor in that you can play well and win games. The game usually just factors in big number, go burn. So, you'd think a half-health Valkia and then all of these infantry would be enough to keep army losses at bay, but it doesn't look like it is. Valkia dives back into the Shades. Do you have any more spears, my lady? No, no more spears for you, so you're relying on just your rugged good looks to kill off all these Shades. Sorceress of Shadows is not a Soul Stealer caster. She has no healing and no single target damage from her spells, which means Valkia can, like, duel with her kind of okay, especially with the Demon Shield. But she gets side charged. There's the Demon Shield. Will she trade back on Supreme Sorceress? In come the Cold One Knights. And with the Demon Shield down, Bahrain just kites away with his dragon. Doesn't really want to deal with this. And Cold One Knights keep her in place while army losses hits. And the Dark Elves will do it. Yeah. Liam, I agree that the Dark Elves had it. I just thought the balance of power was being a little overeager from, like, how it usually predicts things, but I agree Dark Elves had the game well in hand as long as they didn't make mistakes, which it didn't seem like Bahrain was making them. Chaos Warriors, Marauders, did alright. Dogs didn't get to do much. Chaos Knights of Khorne, moderate value. Supreme Sorceress of Shadows, only 1,600 value without her Soul Stealer. Shades did fine. Golden Knights did fine. Witch Elves actually did pretty okay, considering one of them got obliterated on charge. I thought they would do much worse, but they did okay. GG to Bahrain. Good win on the tournament. Clever says very new, just got in the game trying to learn more. How dare you try and learn things? I'm just congratulating the winner. I think we have 2 more battles to cast. I think. But well done to him. Good 4-0 on the night. Let's go check my replays folder. I know we have 2 more. So this is the one Trogdor wanted me to cast. And then Kislev versus Dark Elves. They're both interesting enough. I'll cast them both, sure. I'll start with Trogdor. Trogdor abandoning his precious Wood Elves to fight Khorne Ironheart, High Elves, and Tomb Kings. First High Elf game of the night, first Tomb Kings game of the night. For the High Elves, triple Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, Archmage of Fire with Burning Head and Fireball, then Rangers and White Lions of Krace with Spearmen across the front line, Dragon Princes and Fireborn with no healing to support them, and then some Spearmen and a Arcane Phoenix that's currently looking for stalked units. On the other side for the Tomb Kings, we have As the Desert Sparkle Stalkers, 3 Ushopti Great Bows, 2 Ushoptis regular, Skeleton Warriors and Spearmen across the front line with some Tomb Guard with Halberds in the back, Arc in the black with Fate of Buna, nerfed Fate of Buna, and then Spirit Leech. Though I am sure these Ushopti are not excited at all to see triple Bolt Thrower. Ushopti Great Bows lose the fight to Bolt Throwers pretty heavily. Because usually the Bolt Throwers are small and hard for the Ushopti to actually hit, so they'll lose the artillery duel. As you can see, that Ushopti is also... Well, they're also just getting outranged, to be fair. It's a toughie. And Ushopti squad is getting melted by the Bolt Throwers, starting to crumble a little bit. The Firecaster lands on Arkin, takes his Spirit Leech to the face, and the Arcane Phoenix is here to also help peel. As Arkin Skeleton Warrior Summon tries to block up the White Lions of Krace, but he is diving deep to try and stop these Bolt Throwers from wrecking his poor Ushopti Great Bows. They've taken out one of the Bolt Thrower models, but now Arkin is surrounded by Fireborn and an Arcane Phoenix. I don't know if he really wants to be here. I don't think he does. One Ushopti's still crumbling away slightly, while the other one is taking poke. And the Spirit Leech is out on the Arcane Phoenix this time. And Arkin does manage to slip away from the Fireborn somehow. Just running around the backfield, trying to be annoying. As a Fireborn... Ooh. Burning Head deletes a Skeleton Warrior. It looks like it's going to take out a whole other one on its way out. 2 Skeleton Warriors just deleted. And more of the Tomb Kings do have to get active on the battlefield. I think a lot of the red side's micro is on trying to keep Arkin alive while he's in this bad situation, like trying to weasel him out of situations he finds himself in. But it is the rest of the army suffering from just a lot of their units standing idle while Arkin spends all of his time trying to get free. Fireborn get a good surround on him. This time he's not going anywhere, takes insane damage. The Arcane Phoenix will probably finish him off soon. Then the Tomb Kings will be without a Lord and Caster. They've lost 2 of their Ushopti Great Bows. They've lost 2 of their infantry units to a Burning Head. And all they've gotten in trade is an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. Just 1. That seems really brutal to start off. The Ushopti summon of the Tomb King's army passive is out, trying to bail out Arkin, but it is too late. He is going to just crumble to his death now. He's taking too much damage in too little time, so his leadership's not going to rally in time to keep him safe. He will just crumble. The last of the Ushopti Great Bows is under attack by Bolt Throwers. 2 of them are still online. And I accidentally double-clicked, which takes me under the map, because I am stupid. And the High Elves off to an aggressive victory. Someone please nerf this overpowered faction, but whatever, it's fine. High Elves can continue to dominate the meta as they have for several years straight. Broken faction. Stupid game. Skaven the only faction that matters. Buff them. Buff them until nobody else gets to play the game. Hauser's Tomb Kings is still High Elf favored, right? Overall, yes. Overall, yes. Though, similar to the Dark Elves Khorne thing, it's like 55-45. Tomb Kings have some things they can do. High Elves are very good against them. Their abundance of fire damage that they can take if they want to. They're stalwart front lines that can hold forever, and then they can take a lot of archers that can also just fire over that front line. High Elves have some serious tools, but it's not like the Tomb Kings are helpless here. CA massacred my boy. Is Eltharion useless now? Tequila? How bad is the spread? I haven't seen the spread yet. I intend to look at all the patch changes and, like, make videos about the stuff I find interesting soon. But like I said, I literally got home from work and started this stream. Arcane Phoenix gonna butt Tornado on some Tomb Guard with Halberds to try and trigger army losses. But that's it. I only support Skaven if I can run Craventail. Good news, bad news. Good news, you can always run Craventail. You can just pick him. No one's stopping you. Bad news, you're gonna lose. Alright. Bolt Throwers did great. Fireborn did great. For Corwin, overextended with Arkin and got him very heavily punished. Plus the build was having a hard time. Maybe one of the Mistwalker shots will hit. Holy crap, that sounds awful. Hold on, I have to go check it out. Now you've made me curious. We have one more replay to cast. I'll get to it, but hold on. I get to do fun things too once in a while. Hi, Elves. Not Tyrion. No one cares about Tyrion. Give me the boy. Give me Eltharion. Turn all this dumb shit off. Turn all this garbage off. Just Mistwalkers me. Just Mistwalkers me, senpai. Give me that. Give me that. Get rid of that. Put you on foot. Grail Relic beats Queek. That is so close to true, it's scary. Alright, bring it on, Centaurs, you pieces of garbage. What'd you miss? The entire tournament, but there's one game left after I check this thing. Alright, Eltharion. 3 seconds until you use the best ability in the whole game. Here it comes! Up! I hate this game. I hate it. Is there a Metalore Skaven? Yes. Just ick it. That was the saddest thing I've seen in my entire life. Alright. Skaven Lords. Warlord on a Brood Horror, good. Master Assassin, fine. Tretch, trash. Greyseer, great. Snitch, fine. Queek, trash. Throt, trash. Warblock Master, fine. Ikaclaw, great. Skrulk, fine. There's all the lords. Don't cry that it's over, smile that it happened. Oh my fucking god, why did they do it to him? Last match of the night, it is between Yashkov and Lamphara. OP, overpowered, gross, disgusting Kislev versus OP, overpowered, gross, disgusting Dark Elves. What a time to be alive. But Yashkov did bring the Chad Snow Leopard. Let's go. Alright, chat. We're going to play a game. We're going to play a game. What is the Snow Leopard's name? Snow Leopard's name. I'm starting to poll, don't worry. Snow Leopard name. What is the Snow Leopard's name? Is it Zippy? Is it Zippy 2? Is it Flippy? Or is it Greg? All right, while you guys decide that, I'm gonna talk about the armies, and then we're gonna follow whatever his name is. Armored Kossars for the front line with the Wolfhearts, Akshin Ambusher, ROR. We have some Streltsy, Ice Witch of Tempest with Gust of True Flight and Hailstorm, Double Little Grom, Kislev Warriors, and then in the woods, Things in the Woods, plus a Snow Leopard that is yet to be named. Did the Pigeon Bomb get the same spread? I don't think so, but I haven't had time to sit down and read the whole patch yet. On the other side, we have Dark Riders, Crows of Cain, Bleak Sword Frontline, a Bloodrack Medusa that did get buffed 2 or 3 patches ago. And then Dark Shards, Malice Darkblade, and a Deathcast with Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. Didn't he used to be banned because he was oppressive? Who was? What? Is Cairo still banned? Oh, yeah. They took away his regrowth, and then we unbanned him because regrowth was really stupid to put on him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I accept your challenge for the last game of the night because I'm feeling a little spicy. We are going to cast the entire battle as best I can from the perspective of Greg. Go. I will be trying to cast the battle, but I only can from the perspective of Greg. Okay. So, Kislev's moving in. They have 2 little Groms. What are they going to shoot at? Greg, if we could get out of the woods, that would help me out a lot. Greg? Greg, I want to see what the little Groms are shooting at, Greg. Greg, you fuck. Get out of the trees. Little Groms are shooting at the Medusa. I can see its health bar going down. Greg! Greg, go do something. Do you remember Remy the Rat Rider? Of course I do. He was in the faction face-off. He was one of the warlords. Greg! We're missing the whole game. Get over there. I am so tempted to break the challenge I just set for myself and go over there, but I guess we'll just hang out in the forest with Greg. As the Blood Arc Medusa is taking a lot of damage from the little Grobs in the distance. I can see it. And Dark Rider's gonna flank attack other things in the wood. Greg, do something! Greg, do something! As it gets poked in the butt by a Dark Rider, he turns around and goes, oh shit, there's like a battle going on! And starts to swipe back at the Dark Rider. Greg fucking kills him. And then Greg is gonna eat the body! Oh god. Oh god! Oh god! Put it behind the tree, put it behind the tree, it's too gruesome! It's too gruesome! This is a family-friendly channel, Jesus Christ! Alright, now Greg's roaring over his freshly killed prey, as the things in the woods are gonna rout next to him. Greg does need to be activated. He needs to go do some shit. Blood Arc Medusa in the back, almost dead. I can see it all the way over there. And then the bullets are starting. Greg! Greg! Go do something! Alright, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit from Greg. Okay, I guess we're not. I guess that's fine. I guess we'll just watch Greg. This is unfortunate. I didn't know that Greg was gonna be forgotten in the woods like this. And I am feeling really awkward. But a promise is a promise, and I am stuck here. I don't back down from a challenge just because Greg is literally forgotten in the woods. Oh my god, he all of a sudden bolts into combat and starts rolling through some Dark Riders. Holy shit, he's killing them. Anyway, in the background, it looks like the Kislev front line has been reached. The Dark Elves are in there as Greg gets deeper. Yes, we get a little bit of better of a view. And oh wow, Greg is still going deeper and deeper as he has blood on his little paws. Looks like the Dark Elves are struggling to get through the front line, though I do see some Streltsy are rather damaged, and so are the Wolfhearts. The Wolfhearts are having to fall back over there. And Malice has gone deep, but he's currently surrounded by Kislevite halberds, so that's not going to go great for him, though they are about to rout. Greg is getting the shit kicked out of him by a bunch of Dark Riders. That's just visually. I don't know how much damage they're actually dealing, because he is covered in blood, but whose blood is it? The Dark Riders seem to be leaving. I think that makes Greg the victor. Also, how are the things in the woods still here? Things in the woods have been fighting like a 6v1 forever. Greg, I swear to God, where are you going? Don't take me further from the fight. Greg, please just go over there. Just go to the fight, Greg. Come on, buddy. Oh, he's leaving. He's leaving. Malice is missing like a third of his HP, and the Dark Riders have left the forest fight to go flank Kislev. Kislev is in severe danger, but Greg's back in it. Greg's fucking back in it. Get in there. You get in there! Looks like he's going for the Blood Rack Medusa. Now, Greg is an anti-large armor-piercing duelist, but so is the Blood Rack Medusa, and she is a lot better than Greg is, but don't tell him that as he is speeding along at breakneck pace. Slips past the Cold One Knights and gets us our first real view of the battlefield. We do have some Dark Shards pushing up. They are pressuring Kislev quite nicely. Looks like that's going well for them. The Armored Kossar front line is holding for now, though it looks like the back line is in disarray as Greg goes sprinting up on the Blood Arc Medusa, who doesn't even fucking know what's about to happen to her. She nearly deletes a Streltsy, but in comes a charge attack from your boy, Greg! takes that snake bitch's tails for a little bit, gets slapped in the face, but Greg doesn't care. Greg is a champion. Greg is a hero. Gets another couple hits under her. How's her health bar doing? Not great, as Greg's gonna take her out. Greg's gonna take her out of the fucking game, but he takes a big spear to the face. I don't know if he's taking any damage. I don't know what his HP is at. I can't see Greg's HP. Greg, did you just rout? Did you just rout when you routed her, you stupid cat? Bitch, get back in there. Never mind, he's going after Malice. I'm so sorry for impugning on your honor. You're actually going after the Deathcaster. Greg's doing it all. Greg is a hero. Takes out the Medusa. Goes after the caster and hits her again. She can't get away from our boy Greg as he takes her out. Yeah, Greg. Get him. All right, Greg, you need new orders. You need to go get the Blood Rack Medusa. Greg. Oh, Greg's going for the Dark Shards. He doesn't give a single shit. And he's in it. Lunges into him. Takes them down. How's the rest of the battle going as you watch Greg kick some ass? Wolfhearts are doing fine over there. They are getting chased around. The Dark Elves do seem to be pressuring in on the Kislev backline. There's just too many of them. But Greg is taking out an entire Dark Shard by himself. All right, Greg's taking out some Dark Shards. Meanwhile, for the rest of the battle, the little Groms are having issues firing because now the Dark Elves have like thoroughly saturated their area, and like most ranged single entities, they don't really like firing when they're surrounded by things. Kislevite warriors are rallying to Greg's aid as he tries to take all this stuff out. Dark Shards pull out their crossbows and run ominously away. That was the most intense I've ever seen anybody run away from a fight in their lives, but sure, whatever. It's fine. As Greg leads the men, as he prowls among the Dark Elves, goes, where are we going? Take me to your homes. Take me to your families and your undefended younglings that I may consume with my Greg powers. In the backfield, the Kislev Ice Witch is running away from Malice Darkblade as best she can, but her leadership all of a sudden dips as Fire Blood wears off, but Greg is still just feasting upon the souls of some Dark Shards. And where is that Blood Rack Medusa? Is she going to come back? Nope, she is running into the woods, so Greg thoroughly put the fear of God in there. And that God is Greg, the only God. Urson, Tal, Shalia, all fakes, frauds in the face of this beautiful animal that is actually crushing it now. It started off a little slow. I was worried Greg was going to die to the Dark Riders in the woods, but that didn't happen, and my God. Greg is stalking. Where is he going? It looks like we're going for Malice. We're gonna go for Malice? Was the Ice Leopards buff to rework? No, I don't think so. I think Yashkov was just being a Chad. Greg could have stopped the end times. All right, he's not going for Malice, but he's going to try and bail out Little Grom. Gets a rear charge into some Dread Spears, into some Chaos Furies as well, and Coldwind Riders. Greg doesn't give a single shit as he leads the Kislevites into battle again. I notice wherever Greg goes, the Kislevites show up as Army Losses takes out Greg? What? He was full health. He was full health. Look at this boy. Look at this boy. 2,400 HP left. What? Who? What? Why would you Army Loss that? CA? CA, like, no. Everybody shut up. Let's take a real assessment of what's on the battlefield. Can that kill Greg? No. Can that kill Greg? No. Full health Dread Spear would have been a mild problem. It probably would have taken, what does he have, 2,400 HP? The full health Dread Spear would have probably taken about 20 HP off my boy, so I'll admit that's a bit of a problem. Not a problem. So then he would have had to deal with Malice. Now, Malice has 4,000 HP. He could transform into Zarkan. But, hear me out. If he transforms into Zarkan, sure, Greg loses. I'm not trying to meme on you here. I'm not trying to make jokes. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to provide analysis you can take with you into your quick battles. So, yes, I'll admit, if Malice turns into Zarkan, Greg's going to die. But hear me out. It's awfully hard to transform into Zarkan without your larynx. As fucking Greg would go for the throat, tear his throat out as he tries to call for Zarkan. Zarkan would be busy reading his newspaper, wouldn't be paying attention, and Malice would be just gasping for air, couldn't call out the demon inside of him, and he would lose. I'm just saying, I've played literally millions of Total War Warhammer 3 multiplayer games. I can see how that would go. This Army Losses is bullshit. I demand a redo. All right. Greg the Snow Leopard paid for himself. Pog. And he did push off the Blood Arc Medusa, and he pushed off the caster. And then he harassed some Dark Shards. General's opinions on the Fireball changes, nerf or buff. What changed about the Fireball? As for the battle, I cast from an extreme distance because of the meme. Wolfhearts apparently did great. Little Groms both did fantastically. Streltsy also did very well. The Armored Kossar frontline did okay. The Kislev Warriors did okay. Things of Woods did okay. Actually, like, the whole Kislev army did fine. I guess that makes sense. It did come down to, like, the Dark Elf army was all dead except for Malice and half of one Dreadspear. And Malice is healing himself, so I suppose that's where the value kind of comes from. Malice did okay. The single entities got chased down by Greg, so they didn't really get too much done, but I also imagine they were getting shot the whole time. We did see the little Grom shooting at the Blood Arc Medusa from the distance. 1,400 damage value on a Black Corsair. Oh boy. Oh boy. Dark Riders did okay. Bleak Swords and Dread Spears did fine too. All right, that is it for the stream tonight. I will be back on in about 10 hours to do a 1v1 stream with Radiant Ash as Deathmaster Snitch versus her Balthazar Gelt. So if you feel like it, pop that on while you're at work. Or if you're not at work, then pop it on anyway. I don't care. Just, like, turn it on. You can put it on. You can turn it on and put it on mute, so you don't even have to hear it, and then you don't watch it. Just have it going in your pocket while you do other stuff. I don't care, but, like, turn it on. Just do that, okay? Because if you don't do that, my channel is going to die. And that's bad. We don't want that to happen. I'm not saying viewership is plummeting, but if I dropped, okay, if I put my viewership next to a rock being dropped off of a bridge, my viewership would hit the river faster, is all I'm trying to say. Oh, Wesley? Yeah, that's worse, but, I mean, Fireball's kind of meant to be a single entity sniping tool. Almost at 10k, Human Boy, you can make it. A perfect number for me to end my YouTube career on, because this shit is garbage. What? Our channel is 3 years old when? When is my channel 3 years old? May 19th, 2021. Yeah, we're almost 3 years old. And I'm over it. This whole YouTube thing, it sucks. You can't make me keep doing it. Do we have any Warhammer 3 live streamers that I can go raid? Excuse me. I don't know why the lo-fi beats girl is under Warhammer, but you know what? Sure, dude. Can I even raid that? Is that a thing? Hell yeah, they have rating on. There you go. If anybody has fallen asleep to this stream, you are now about to get redirected to a lo-fi beats stream, which are dank. I love those. Keep your shit going till 40k Total War. Never!